Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Excalibur 3-pack, which features Marvel's Megan, Captain Britain, and Marvel's Shadowcat. It's also Marvel's Captain Britain, but they don't have to say that. I think this was originally Pulse exclusive, but then I think I got it at Big Bad Toy Store. I think they ended up getting them down the line. I might be crazy, but I think that's what happened. Anyway, it's a 3-pack. I'm going to review each figure individually so that I don't have to go real fast and kind of gloss over things. I'd like to get into the meat and taters for those of you that actually care about it, and for those of you that don't, you're skipping around anyway, so you can get a short video out of it anyhow. But I'm going to do them individually because that's the way I want to. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I do want to point out they have the cards on the side here. They don't necessarily represent what's in the box. Megan's about the same design. That's pretty darn close. This is a totally different design for him, and this is not the same design for her really either, but kind of, so that's just kind of irritating. Also, the only place you see the word Excalibur is back here, which is just weird. For those of you who are in-box collectors, I know you exist. It would have been nice to see it like X-Men, Excalibur, something, or just Excalibur, something like that. I know a lot of you asked me to review packaging. I'm not going to go that far, but I think for those of you that do want it, that would have been nice. Okay, so this guy, there's a lot of good stuff going on, and some stuff that's absolutely bad. And some that's absolutely good too. He's just shy of 7 1/4 inches. He's got some size to him. That's going to make him just about 18 cm. And here is Darwin coming up to just about the nose. So I think that's reasonably sized, I would say. I suppose that's pretty good. All right, question of the day. We're going to do this for him very specifically. Do you prefer the version of Captain Britain where his mask is more helmet shaped? Or do you like the one where you can see like the eyebrow shape and the nose shape and all of that? For me, it's helmet all the way. Okay, let's get into the aesthetic. For a Marvel Legends figure, there's a lot of good stuff going on. I'll get it out of the way right now. The proportioning is acceptable for this build. We've seen this body before mostly. It's on that one Thor figure. And it's fine. It's not great. You can see the shoulders are still really far forward. And it's not very heroic. Like, yeah, he's very thick and chunky and muscular, but it doesn't have the taper to the waist. I'll post an image again. It doesn't look like that. I would really love for it to look like that. There's no point in me even doing the Photoshop because that image shows it perfectly. I would prefer that. This is okay, though. This is one of the better sculpts they have. So sculpt-wise, that's good. I'll note it is a little bit strange that this particular chest has very detailed muscle striations in the pecs. And none of the other muscle groups on any of the Marvel Legends ever really have that much detail. You can almost not even see them unless you get the light to bounce off of them just right. But there's a lot of texture in terms of the muscle right there. It's just kind of strange that it's only on the pecs, but that's okay, I guess. Another thing to note for the sculpt, because it is generally a decent sculpt, is they didn't even try with the lower legs. Like, they didn't even come close to trying to get those to line up. It's clearly a separate piece, obviously, and they were not sculpted at the same time. The lines don't even come close to matching. The size doesn't match. The shape doesn't match. This side's a little bit closer, but it's still off by a lot, and it looks really bad in person when you're looking at this figure. Maybe you can even tell. Yeah, you can definitely tell. It looks really bad. This leg in particular is so off. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. That's a bummer. Okay, let's talk about the really good, though. The really good. The line work on this figure is really, really, really good. If you look at the chest and the arms, that's you're not going to get much better than that in terms of line work. Even the white and the red, like, there's a little bit of fuzziness here and there, but they're all opaque. It looks good. It's clean. It doesn't quite match. Like, the red is a different red for the molded parts and the painted parts, but it's not like terribly obvious. It's pretty darn clean. Back here it gets a little wonky, but it looks really good. Same thing for the head. The line work it's really good. Not perfect, and that's going to vary from figure to figure. You can see how there's a little bit of blue poking through, and his face is not good where the flesh tone meets, but that blue and red and white line work is pretty good. Another area here, but it's pretty darn good, so I'm okay with that. I also remember his ears being blue. I'm going to have to check that. In this look, aren't his ears supposed to be blue, or maybe that's only with the helmet? I don't remember, but whatever. It still looks generally pretty good. The whites are clean enough. The colors are consistent enough. There is no shading, so that's a bummer. I do like that they gave him the knee pad thingies. I mean, on the figure, their knee pads. In the comics, it's a boot, the top of his boot, but it looks good enough. So yeah, it is not bad looking. Aesthetically speaking, for a Marvel Legends figure, I'm going to give this an 8. It definitely has its drawbacks, but it also has some really good stuff too, so I like that. Now, as far as accessories go, we do have the normal head, then we get the alternate head with the beard, or I guess it's really a goatee, and they did a really good job with that. I like it. I think that looks very nice. Pretty cool. And then we do have the 2 gripping hands that come on him in the package, 2 fist hands. That's probably enough. And then we do get the sword, which is nicely sculpted. It's not made out of a super soft plastic. It's a little flexible, but it doesn't feel droopy, and it looks good. A little bit of a wash or some actual silver paint on there would be nice, but it is not a bad sword. So, accessory-wise for this guy, I will go 8 out of 10. A head, hands, and an accessory for him to hold. That's pretty good. I'm going to give you guys an individual rating for each figure and a group rating overall, like a rating for the figure within the context of the 3-pack. I'll do that at the end. Okay, let's get into the articulation. It's pretty standard. We have the hinge in the neck. Looks up and down, no problem. Rotates side to side, no problem. It is a ball peg at the top, but you're not really getting much wiggle out of it, so it doesn't function like a double ball peg at all. It's really just the hinge with a swivel. Double ball peg's so much better, but this is an older build. Get the arm up to just shy of horizontal. That's a bit of a bummer. Full rotation is going to be no problem. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow is fine. You'll note, not pinless joints. This is an older mold, and so you have the red dots on the arms. Just better than 90 degrees in the elbow. A little bit of a bummer. Wrists have a swivel and a horizontal hinge on both sides. So swinging the sword, not going to look so good. That's pretty disappointing. Also worth noting, I forgot to mention this, all of the hands have fingernails in them, even though he's wearing gloves. I hate that. I hate that so much. If you're gonna just invest in 2 sets of hands, Hasbro, seriously, you cannot keep putting fingernails on everyone's gloves. It doesn't make any sense. Ab crunch goes back a little bit, doesn't look terrible. Goes forward, good amount, I like that. It is worth noting you don't have a giant gap in his torso like some figures do, which means it can be done. So there you go. Waist twist is twisty. Hips, they go up pretty much to horizontal. They go back just a touch, just a little bit. Going out to the side, not bad, a little bit better than 45 degrees. You get a thigh swivel, which is fine. I mean, it's a thigh swivel. It's going to do its thing. Double jointed knee works all right. Not the best range in the world, and it does exemplify another problem. The lower legs are still ridiculously long. You want basically this whole blue section, not counting the knee pad, this whole blue section should be the same length as this white section. So the shin and the foot should match the thigh in length, and that'll look much better. They didn't do that, so that's a bit of a bummer, especially with these high boots. It looks extra weird. Didn't mention that in the aesthetic either. Oops, almost dropped the figure. You get your shin swivel even though it's hideous. Feet go all the way back, all the way forward, and a pretty crooked ankle rocker, but you can use that if you want to make it better, so it's okay. So articulation's nothing special, but it's fine, I would say. I'll give it a 7 for Marvel Legends standards. It'll be okay. It'll get the job done well enough. Alright, and now it's time for the final verdict for this release. If this was a standalone release, let's say at the $26 price point, which most Legends are, I would say this one's fine. I would give it an overall rating of, for Marvel Legends, I would give this an 8. Like I said before, they're always overpriced. I'm just going to put that out there. They're never worth the money, technically speaking. But if you're into the line, this gets an 8 for Marvel Legends standards. But it is in a 3-pack. So, is it worth buying the 3-pack for this guy, knowing that the other figures are kind of subpar? I'm going to say no. Don't buy the 3-pack if you're only interested in this guy. The other 2 figures are not that good, and I think Hasbro knows that. So if you are hunting for individuals, then go ahead and get this one. You're going to be happy. And then you'll see the other figures in their own respective reviews. But as a 3-pack, it's not all that strong, honestly. So, yeah, there you go. He's an 8. The 3-pack, well, it's not that great. So, there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.